Supporters of California's gay marriage ban have now filed an appeal after a judge overturned the controversial voter-approved referendum known as Proposition 8. Each side of the divide is digging their heels in even deeper. This latest fight is just the opening bell in a battle that appears destined for the Supreme Court.
This is what American justice is all about.
We've had a very happy life together, and we want to make sure that the next generation has a happy life, too.
What's really important here is what happens ultimately when it makes it to the Supreme Court.
The judge has dealt a terrible blow to natural marriage, the voters' rights, the Constitution, and this republic we call the United States of America.
Joining us now, senior pastor at Hope Christian Church, Bishop Harry Jackson. Bishop Jackson, welcome. I want to start by asking you if this is a civil rights issue, because a lot of people have framed it that way. Why is it not analogous to civil rights in an earlier time period for minorities in the country?
Well, my father was threatened at gunpoint. He was working on voter registration. Policeman discharged a weapon over his head. And we fought for years back at the bus, separate water fountains, couldn't live in certain places, lynched, tortured, all of those things in great numbers. But I believe the civil rights, according to Walter Fauntleroy, who's one of the proponents of our D.C. Marriage bill here that we're working on, said that housing, education, salary, and also fair treatment in court is ultimately the essence of what civil rights is really all about. Well,
but Pastor, nobody's minimizing the earlier civil rights fights. They were historic. There's no question about that. But here they're saying, look, one of the fights in civil rights was, can black people and white people get married together? And even though they love each other, and people said they couldn't. And here it seems to be very, very similar. So I'm asking you, why don't you want to allow these people to have the same civil rights that you fought for earlier?
Well, I don't see that distinctive. You're changing marriage, which is an institution that we know has generational implications. I'm concerned about the next generation, the children. I'm also concerned about the fact that you're saying a father or a mother is not needed. And many blacks are outraged that the civil rights comparison is being made based on their pain, based on their problems, but also based on the fact that marriage, we're talking about now, fundamentally changing the equation, which is 5, 6, 10,000 years old. Who knows how old civilization is? But that's the essence of the argument that I and others like me make. All right,
Bishop Jackson, do you think homosexuality is a matter of choice?
I believe for many people it really is a matter of choice. And I have ex-gays in our church, people who've come out of the lifestyle, who want to get married. It's an amazing thing. And so what we're dealing with now is, how shall a relationship be defined, and should it be defined to the detriment of the broader institutions of education, training? Kids are going to be taught certain things in school.
But Bishop Jackson, if you think it's a matter of choice, and that's what separates it partly from the civil rights eras of the past, can you choose to be gay?
I think that many people do. As I just shared with you, some have chosen to come out of the gay lifestyle.
Can anybody choose? Can you choose? Can I choose? Can you say, wake up today and go, I'm going to put on jeans instead of pants, and I'm going to go with Steve instead of Susie?
I believe that why men and women are gay is a very complex process, and for many of them, they may feel like they are hardwired that way. And my issue is that the people have a right to vote. I don't really want to address homosexuality. I'm dealing with the fact that the majority of people in California said, let the people vote. They voted. Their right to vote, which is the fundamentals of all the civil rights movements in America, was taken away from them.
Bishop Jackson, I got to ask you, I'm sorry, we're running out of time. I got to ask you one last question. Look, they got loved ones. They really love them. And they, for example, they go in the hospital, they're sick, etc., and they can't get visitation rights. Do you get that? And if you do, if you feel that pain, what do you want them to do?
Well, I feel that pain in many areas that has already been alleviated through civil unions. And so I believe at this juncture, we need to make sure that individuals get all the rights America can afford, but we need the right of the people to vote, and we need to protect marriage, which I believe as an institution is on life support in America. The institution must be saved, and that's where I stand.
Bishop Jackson, we're going to wind up agreeing when all of the the states wind up voting for gay marriage at some point, I'm sure you'll come back on the show and say that's awesome because of democracy.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen, but you're a great host. Thank you for the fair opportunity to get my points out.
Thank you so much. Bishop Harry Jackson.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.